Hi, this is CAD/CAM Lessons. In this part of our FreeCAD series, you'll learn how to go from a simple sketch to a real 3D solid using part design and the pad feature. We'll also cover the key idea of fully constraining sketches so your models stay stable and editable. FreeCAD is a fully free 3D modeling program that anyone can use, and FreeCAD can be used both for hobbies and commercially. FreeCAD is a program from the group of 3D CAD systems, meaning it is software intended for technical 3D part modeling. In this program, you can design parts with regular shapes, including parts for machines and devices, accessories useful at home or in the workshop, or other utility elements. In FreeCAD, you are unlikely to design freeform elements, such as decorative items or various types of figurines. For such things, Blender will be better, but if you are looking for software to model parts with regular shapes, FreeCAD can be a good choice. To start working with FreeCAD, you need to download and install FreeCAD, and you can do this by going to freecad.org. Next, we click the Download Now button. At the time of recording this tutorial, the stable version of FreeCAD is version 1.0.2. However, FreeCAD version 1.1 will be available soon. However, these versions do not differ significantly visually. So many tutorials created even a few years ago will still be current. Regarding changes in FreeCAD, they are introduced regularly, but this usually involves improving performance rather than visual changes. Most changes happen inside the software. From version to version, the software works more stably and predictably, and the interface is not changed heavily. So many tutorials, even from a few years ago, are still valid, and thanks to this, we have a really huge knowledge base when it comes to learning FreeCAD. As you can see, we can install FreeCAD on Windows, Mac, and Linux. To do this, we simply download the installation file, install it, and we can use FreeCAD right away. You don't have to register anywhere, you don't have to provide your data, you simply download, install, and can start creating your own 3D models. I will be recording this tutorial on the FreeCAD 1.1 release candidate version. This version is a polished developer version. If the official stable version of FreeCAD 1.1 is not yet available, you can download this version from the development versions. To do this, click the Weekly Builds button here. And here we look for the release candidate version. Here we download the version for our operating system. You can have both the stable version and the development version installed on your computer. However, regarding the release candidate version, this version is polished, and I think you can use such versions. Unlike development versions that are not described as release candidate versions, errors may appear in those versions, so for beginner users, I do not recommend installing them. I recommend using the release candidate version or the stable version. Okay. Regarding FreeCAD installation, it proceeds as standard, and after installing the software, we launch FreeCAD. FreeCAD will start with a start page with initial settings, and here we specify the language, unit system, and navigation style. Regarding the navigation style, choose the Blender navigation style because I will be using this navigation style in this tutorial, and I will be using the dark theme here. As for the Blender navigation style, later in the tutorial, once we have a 3D model, I will discuss this navigation style, but if you hover your cursor over this spot, a tooltip window will appear with information on how navigation works using this style. Regarding FreeCAD, FreeCAD has a modular structure. We have over a dozen different modules for different applications here. However, in this tutorial, we will mainly use the part design module. In this module, work consists of creating a model based on features and parameters. We build the model based on 2D sketches. That is, first we create a 2D sketch, and later, based on the 2D sketch, we apply a solid operation to create a 3D solid. To start working in this module, we click the Parametric Body button. As you can see, a body appeared here, and a body in FreeCAD defines one single solid. Recently in FreeCAD, we can use an experimental option that allows creating several single solids within one body. However, for beginners, I recommend working in such a way that we ensure one body is one single solid. If you want to create more solids in the project, simply create another body. We have the Create Body button here, and we can create another part. In this tutorial, we will focus on this, and I will stick to the rule that there is one single solid in one body, and in a moment, we will move on to creating such a solid, but I will say a bit more about the interface. Regarding the FreeCAD interface, we can customize it here in the case of these icons. We have several different groups of icons, and we can change the position of each of these groups. So your FreeCAD menu might look slightly different from mine, but we can customize everything here to suit our needs. If you don't have a certain group of icons, right-click here, and you can enable or disable the visibility of the selected icon group. I mention this at this stage so you won't be surprised if certain commands are in a different place for you. It might be so. It might happen that certain icon groups are in a different place, but that is not an error. We can simply customize the FreeCAD interface. Regarding the commands available under the icons, these commands are also available in the drop-down menu. The drop-down menu is invisible in the recording, but if you expand the part design menu, we have the commands there that are available under the icons. So you can also find these commands in the drop-down menu. And as I mentioned, the basis for creating a 3D model is a 2D sketch. To create a sketch, we select the Create Sketch command. Now we indicate the plane on which we will create such a sketch. We have the basic planes of the coordinate system here, the X, Y, X, Z, and Y, Z planes. We will create a sketch on one of these planes. Let's choose the XY plane. This is the plane as if we were looking from above. We click the left mouse button here, and now this plane is the sketch plane. What you might notice is that the module has changed here. We have been switched to the Sketcher module, and the Sketcher module and the Part Design module are closely linked. It works such that in the Sketcher module, we create 2D sketches based on which we can create a 3D solid using 3D solid operations available in the Part Design module. Regarding these icons, just like in the previous case, we can also change the position of selected icon groups. I will change this a bit so that it is arranged this way, because we will also use these commands sometimes. Since we have some space on the top bar, I will place these icons here. Here we have commands for drawing 2D geometry, and here we have constraint commands. We have dimensional constraints and geometric constraints. Creating 3D models in 3D CAD systems, we usually design parts with precisely defined dimensions. These are accurate parts. For example, when creating a plate with holes, we want the plate to have specific dimensions and the holes to be properly positioned. That is exactly what we do in a 2D sketch. We will create a simple plate here, and we will start by drawing a rectangle. Select the rectangle drawing command. Regarding drawing a rectangle, we draw it by defining two vertices of the rectangle. We click the left button defining the position of the first vertex, and we click the left button defining the position of the second vertex. What you might have noticed is that while drawing the rectangle, we can specify its dimensions. Creating geometry in FreeCAD, we can define its dimensions during creation. This applies not only to the rectangle, but we can also do it with other geometries. As you can see, the rectangle command is still active, and I can draw more rectangles. I will draw a rectangle here with dimensions of 100 by 70 millimeters. I type 100 millimeters, press enter, and here I type 70 and press enter. To end the command, click the right mouse button. Now, what is the difference between these rectangles? Regarding the rectangle that is not dimensioned, I can change the dimensions of this rectangle, and I can change the position of this rectangle. Regarding the rectangle where there are dimensions, I can no longer change the dimensions, but I can still change the position of this rectangle. This is another important thing. When we create 2D geometry based on which we will create a 3D model, this geometry should be dimensioned and should have a defined position. We can define the geometry's position relative to other geometry or relative to the origin of the coordinate system. In this case, we have two geometries, but I don't need this rectangle, so I select this rectangle with a selection box and press delete to remove this rectangle. One rectangle remains here, and this rectangle is dimensioned, but the position of this rectangle is not defined. We have 2 degrees of freedom here, and when creating 3D models based on 2D sketches, we aim for the sketch to be fully described so that there are no degrees of freedom. We simply must aim to ensure that the position and shape of the sketch cannot be freely changed. In this case, we can do it, for example, by defining the distance of this rectangle corner from the origin of the coordinate system. To do this, select this corner of the rectangle and choose the dimensioning command. I will tell you right away that we have different dimensions. We can choose a specific dimension we want to apply, but we also have a general command that is selected by default. If we select this command, by dragging the cursor in the appropriate direction, we can define the dimension we care about. Usually, this command selects the default dimension. For example, if we want to dimension a circle diameter and choose this command, the dimension defining the circle diameter will be selected. This will be clarified in a later stage of the course. But now I had this corner selected. I selected the dimensioning command. Now I drag the arrow down and type, for example, 30 millimeters here. The dimensioning command is active. I click on this point, drag the cursor to the left, click the left mouse button to define the dimension position, and type, for example, 20 millimeters here. I click the right mouse button to cancel the dimensioning command, and we have a green sketch here. This sketch is now fully described, fully constrained, and this means we cannot freely change the shape and position of this sketch. If I want to change something, I must do it consciously by editing the dimensions. To edit a dimension, double-click the left mouse button on the dimension you want to edit. We enter a new value, for example 120, press enter, and the changes are applied. Here, grabbing any geometry, any point, I cannot change the shape and position of this sketch. This is what we try to aim for, because in the case of more complex geometries, there are many places where we are exposed to accidental damage to the sketch. At first, it might seem insignificant, but if you start creating more complicated and complex shapes, you will see that aiming for the sketch to be fully constrained is actually essential to create correct geometry. Now we will create another geometry here. We will create a circle, select the Draw Circle command, and let's draw a circle more or less in this spot. To draw a circle, we click the left mouse button, and here we can create a circle of any diameter, or while creating the circle, we can enter a specific dimension. Enter 30 millimeters here, for example, and press enter. The circle drawing command is still active. You can cancel this command, but I will create another circle for demonstration purposes. I click the first point to define the position of the circle's center point, and I click the second point anywhere to define the circle's diameter. I click the right mouse button to cancel this command. This circle does not have a defined diameter. I did not specify this diameter while drawing the circle, and the diameter of this circle is not defined. In this case, we defined the circle diameter as 30 millimeters, and here I cannot change the circle diameter. I can still change the position of the circle's center point, but I cannot change the circle diameter. In this case, I can change both the center point position and the circle diameter. Now notice what happens. I select this circle, choose the dimensioning command, and the dimension defining the circle diameter was automatically selected. I can enter the circle diameter here. I click the right button to cancel this. Now the circle diameter is defined. I select this circle and press delete. This was just for demonstration. Now let's go back to this circle. I would like this circle to lie in the center of the rectangle. At this moment, the position of this circle is not defined at all. I can place this circle anywhere, but I want this circle to lie exactly in the center of the rectangle. In this case, we can use dimensions for this. For example, we can define the distance of this point from that point. Regarding adding dimensions, we can do it by first selecting the geometries between which we want to add a dimension and selecting the dimensioning command. Here I type 60 millimeters and press enter. I click the right mouse button now to cancel the dimensioning command. Now the center of this circle is placed at a distance of 60 millimeters from this side of the rectangle. I can still change the position of this circle, but only up and down. The distance in the x-axis is fixed, and we cannot change this distance. Now I will add the distance from this point to that point in the y-axis. We can also do this by first selecting the dimensioning command and indicating the 2 points between which we want to add the distance, and clicking the left mouse button. Here we can do it by entering a mathematical operation. We can use mathematical operations here. I can simply type 70 divided by 2. I click OK, and a dimension of 35 millimeters has been applied here. I click the right mouse button to cancel this command. Now this circle lies in the center of the rectangle. Based on this sketch, we will create a 3D solid. To do this, we close the sketch. The most basic operation for creating 3D solids in 3D CAD systems is the operation that allows creating a solid by extruding a sketch to a specific height. In FreeCAD, this is the pad operation. Select this operation. Here we specify the height of the solid. We can do this by dragging this arrow, or we can enter a specific value here, for example 20 millimeters. To update the preview, click the left mouse button next to this field and click OK. Now you've created your first FreeCAD solid the correct way. A fully constrained sketch turned into a 3D part with pad. To see the next step, click the video on the screen or subscribe and continue the full series in the playlist.